92.3 Nigeria Info, Sam Oracle Chinedu here. A conversation for this hour brings us back to our beloved Rivers State, where a directive from the Amaewhule-led Rivers State House of Assembly to its clerk to issue a disclaimer against all appointments made by Governor Fubara has sparked debate among lawyers. Recall that Mr. Amaewhule directed his clerk to issue a disclaimer against all appointments made by the Rivers State governor on the basis that the governor has refused to obey the extant laws of the state. Speaking on this, a Port Harcourt-based lawyer at Chineke Williams Wobodo believes that the lawmakers are cautious because of the governor's actions are impeachable. Mr. Williams Wobodo spoke to correspondent Suebi Oruwari on the legal implications of the disclaimer.
Until the court makes that determination, they remain members of the House of Assembly. Is that case not a judgment in rem against any other person who is now saying that they want another determination against Martin Amaewhule? That's a pronouncement of a court of competent jurisdiction. The matter is on appeal. It has not been set aside. I'm not a member of the Rivers State House of Assembly. They have the reason why I'm treading with caution. If I were in the Rivers State House of Assembly, I will initiate impeachment proceedings. Take it up from there. If we get to the point where the chief judge of Rivers State refused to appoint the panel, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
Mr. Williams Wobodo also insists that the Amaewhule-led assembly is legitimate.
Once it comes to the appointment, except the appointments that are not recognized by the Constitution. But once the appointments recognized by the Constitution, which the House of Assembly has a right of oversight, by that I mean a right to screen the people and know that those people are fit and proper persons to hold office in Rivers State. That they have a right to disclaim whoever the governor appoints without a due screening by the Rivers State House of Assembly. The courts have said that his conducts are unconstitutional.
But another lawyer, Vincent Chukwu, said the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly lacks the legal rights to issue any disclaimer.
What we have to say about that, if an order, directive is flowing from a person who does not have the authority to do so, that order, directive, or injunction or sanction amounts to a nullity. That is, they are not, in the eyes of the law, the veritable members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and as such, they are not in a position to issue any order, directive, or to nullify anything done because they do not have the power.
Okay. So if there is confusion and dispute between two Nigerians, the ones we like to call the common man, you can call a lawyer to bring some clarity. But if there's confusion between two lawyers, who do you call? My question for this conversation, and hopefully I get answers, is why are lawyers conflicted on the Rivers political crisis? But we have other conversations connected to this. My guest is Mr. Barrister Liborous Oshoma. He is a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, and he joins me via the phone. Thank you, Mr. Oshoma, for making the time.
Thank you, my brother. If lawyers are confusing issues, you call the common man.
That will create a lot of problems. But let's start, before we get to that question, some legal clarity. Irrespective of the crisis in River State, let's imagine we didn't have this problem. Can a House of Assembly legally disclaim appointments made by a sitting governor?
Yes, they can. If the appointment, an appointment, let me give you an example with the NDDC, for example. Now, at least that one relates to what is happening in that River State. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
The part of the NDDC is to be appointed by the president, subject to the confirmation by the National Assembly.
Okay.
And so, if a board is appointed and inaugurated without confirmation by the National Assembly can say, well, you do not have, these appointments are not known to law, because one of the leg upon which the appointment must stand is that we must confirm. You remember also, before now, the president could just appoint service chiefs and they will swear them in.
Yeah.
Professor Skiamo SAN went to court to challenge that position, that constitutionally the appointment of service chiefs needed the Senate confirmation.
Okay.
And so the courts agreed with him, and from that time forward, appointment of service chiefs was subsequently confirmed. So, in the same way, if an appointment is subject to the confirmation of the House, and it is not confirmed by that house, the house has the power to say, to distance itself from that appointment as an illegal appointment.
Okay.
So I think that is what is playing out in Rivers State.
All right. So I'm glad that you gave that answer, and now we have some clarity. So that's problem we took away from Rivers State. Let's now bring it back. The Martin Amaewhule-led assembly, do they have the powers at this time to disclaim appointments made by the governor, Fubara?
Let us, they say when trees fall on trees, first the topmost are removed. So let us attempt to remove the trees from the top before we get to the bottom.
Okay.
And hopefully my explanation will make sense to the discerning. I use the word advisedly, discerning, not the partisan. The penalty for defection, is that you lose your seat.
Okay.
Section 109, subsection 1, paragraph G. There's a proviso. It is the court that decides that proviso. But also, the same vein, the penalty for murder is death.
Okay.
The penalty for murder is death. The penalty for stealing is some years imprisonment. The penalty for being gay is 13 years imprisonment.
14.
But 14 years imprisonment. But it is the court that will pronounce that you are gay, contrary to the provisions of the anti-gay law.
Okay.
In the same vein, it is the court that will pronounce that you have committed murder, contrary to the provision of criminal code.
Okay.
It is that contrary to the provision of criminal code. Now, activate penalty for that offense. So, in the same vein, it is the court that will determine defection. Even if I catch the person red-handed and say yes, I will still need the court to activate that instrumentality of the law to say, let us look at the facts surrounding this case. Has this person truly defected? That is why the court will ask you for register, for resignation. The section is not ipso facto self-executory. By self-executory, I mean that, once you defect, it means that automatically, somebody will have to make that pronouncement. Subsection 2 of the section empowers the Speaker of the House to declare the seat vacant, but provided there are enough evidence, he has gathered enough evidence.
Okay.
But you have cases where even the Speaker himself will defect. Who pronounces his seat vacant? You have cases where, because it is the party in power that people are defecting to, the Speaker will be silent, like you see happening at the National Assembly. People are defecting from Labour Party to
the
APC, PDP to APC.
Yeah.
The Speaker of the Senate will not declare their seat vacant. So, the court, anybody who feels that their seat should be declared vacant will have to approach the court for that pronouncement. So, in the absence of that pronouncement, just the same way in the absence of a pronouncement that, yes, you are hereby found guilty of rape, murder, stealing. In the absence of that, the person is presumed innocent. So also in the absence of that, those members are still presumed members of the House, or members of the Senate, or members of the House of Reps. That is the position of the law. That is why the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, in the budget presentation case, 2024 budget case, said presentation of budget to 3 members is a joke taken to bar. Because until those members' seats are declared vacant by the court, then, no, it is not in my mouth, even if I do not want them there. Even if any lawyer does not want them there, it is not in that lawyer's, position to say they are no longer members.
Okay, sir. We have a break right now. We have to take this break, right? We would return to continue this conversation.
Okay. The show continues after this break on Nigeria.
Like it still is Hard Facts 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Oracle Chinedu here. And we are talking still on the political crisis rocking the state. A directive from the Amaewhule-led Rivers House of Assembly to its clerk to issue a disclaimer against all appointments made by Governor Fubara. My guest is Dr. Liborous Oshoma. He is a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, and he's still on the phone. You're welcome once again, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So before the break, you were speaking to the idea that the court determines status before punishment or consequence.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, the reason why you have this confusion and problems is lawyers, really. You know, lawyers make fortune out of other people's misfortune.
Okay.
So, when there is any crisis, you have lawyers on both sides. But, like they say, there are three sides to every story. Your side, my side, and the truth. There are three sides to a coin, not two sides. There are three sides to a coin, both sides and the middle.
Okay.
So the middle is the truth. So what happens is, depending on the political link, the client in the how you forward a case, you want lawyers on that side who to scratch something, the defense client. So that is why you have all of this discussion. But when lawyers start to separate the language and expect to do, is internal and governor of
Yes.
When of police commissioner, the governor, commissioner in
Yeah.
after the crisis at the time, BP, 3 members and 4 members sent on backs of the house and from the people who condemn BP, people why supported Evans B then. I was condemning, the ones who supported Evans BP then are the ones today condemning, Fubara. In the same thing, when, Umbu declared that anybody that snatched ballot box to be shot at sight. Remember, at that time, Amaewhule had joined the APC.
Mm.
The APC called for Umbu's sack. PDP was in government at the center. The APC called for Umbu's sack, that he was calling for anarchy, that was summary execution, that you can't just kill people, they must be taken to court and tried, and let the court be the one to make a pronouncement.
Yeah.
That was the position of the APC then. They condemned what Umbu said. The PDP, who was government at the center, supported Umbu and said, yes, Umbu was right, and that APC was planning to rig election. That is why they are condemning what Umbu is saying.
And later Buhari.
Then fast forward to 2019.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2019. Buhari made the same call. Now APC was in government. Buhari made the same call. Fact check me. Go and check. What do you call it? Festus Keyamu. And Dino Melaye debated this matter. APC, Tinubu, Buhari made that call. APC that were condemning Umbu started supporting Buhari, that he was right. That PDP wants to rig election. That is why they are condemning Buhari. PDP that supported Umbu before now started condemning Buhari, that no, you cannot do this. That is summary execution. You must try the person before you can ask that the person should be killed. That is the Nigeria we find ourselves once politics is involved, including lawyers. I just told you now. Professor Kiamu is a senior advocate.
Okay.
So, including lawyers,
yeah,
they will change their analysis depending on the side of the political divide that they belong to.
Okay.
So that is why you have all of this crisis.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Oshoma, we have a few comments, questions for you on WhatsApp, and shortly I'll open the phone lines. But let me ask mine.
Okay.
Now, let's imagine, right, that your ethnicity is up for debate. Let's say maybe you became a political office holder or a successful businessman, and then Igbo people say, no, Oshoma is from Igbo. Yoruba people say, no, he's from Yoruba. Of course, because we know that some benefit will come to wherever you identify. Now, they trace you. They say, no, your grandfather, your mother. And while we are doing this, they say, okay, let us take it to court. Now, while the matter is still being deliberated, meaning that we are waiting for a verdict, are we supposed to, while waiting for the court, call you Igbo or Yoruba while we are waiting? What is your status at that point?
What is my status?
Yes.
What is my status as recognized by the law?
It is the law that is trying to recognize now. We are trying to use the law to now recognize.
Wait. Now the law says let's say I am the governor of Rivers State.
Okay.
And the law recognized me as an Ikwere man. And somebody comes and says, no, he's not Ikwere. He only lived in Woji. He's not an Ikwere man. He only lived in Woji. His parents migrated to Woji. And so, he cannot be Ikwere. And since he's not Ikwere, he's a Yoruba man. He's a Yoruba man. This is a Yoruba man. He's not qualified to be governor of Rivers State. And then another group come and says, no, we know him. We know his forefathers. We know his great-great-grandparents. They are Ikwere. They have always, their forefathers' house was in Woji village. From there, they migrated to Diop. From Diop, he built a house in GRA and all of that. And then some people decide to go to court. While that argument is going on, will I remain governor or vacate the seat as the governor? That is the question.
Yes.
While that argument is going on and the matter is in court, I will remain as a governor until the court says, no, you are not Ikwere. And because you are not Ikwere, you are not qualified to occupy the office of the governor. It's at that point that I will vacate the seat. But until that is done, somebody cannot say, because he said, I am not Ikwere, and because the law said, if you are not Ikwere, then because I said somewhere that I am not Ikwere, automatically, that means that I should vacate it. So, it is the court that will still make that pronouncement.
And if the court is taking too long, if the court is taking more time than it should, what do we do?
That is why we say the windmill of justice grinds slowly but surely. But we forget that justice delayed is justice denied. That's where I blame the court for taking too long. Also, in taking too long, the parties also play a parties to this. They delay the matter unnecessarily because they know either the matter does not have merit or not. So they use adjournment and all kinds of delay tactics to warehouse the matter in court until, the expiration of that tenure. And then they will say, well, it has been overtaken by events.
Okay. Now we have some comments. I'll let the listener be a part of this conversation. I don't know if you can hear them from your end, but when they ask the questions, I'll rephrase and tell you just in case you cannot. 0817-923-0002. I have Dr. Liborous Oshoma on the phone with me. He's a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. If you have any questions, contributions, or even complaints, this will be the time to make your voice heard. I'll start with one on WhatsApp that came in a while back. It says, why has your guest not read section 109, subsection 2 of the 99 Constitution that confers the duty of declaring seat vacant on the Speaker of a valid House of Assembly? That's from Vin. Did you get the question, sir?
If the person did not read the section, I explained that section. I said that section 109, subsection 2 empowers the Speaker to declare the seat vacant if he gathers, provided he gathers enough evidence. But the court has gone further to say that it is the court that can declare that seat vacant, because there are cases where the Speaker himself will decamp. In such case, where a Speaker decamps and is unable to declare his own seat vacant, what happens? It is the court that will declare that seat vacant.
Okay.
Because the constitution says. So do you understand?
Yes, indeed.
So already the listener was not listening to my analysis.
Okay.
And also, in explaining further, let's take an example. Look at Wike, for example. When Wike was in PDK, everything, let's tell you the sentiment. Everything PDP was bad. Everything APC was bad. Anytime Wike was commissioning a project, it was APC this, APC that. Somebody cannot leave malaria and be going to cancer, and all of that. But today, Wike is working for the same cancer that he once condemned. It's just sentiment and interest for politicians. That's what is causing all of these things.
Okay.
Otherwise, the law is very clear and clear indeed.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good evening.
Sam Oracle.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Comrade Clinton calling Liborous.
All right, Comrade Clinton, please go ahead.
Yeah, the barrister has spoken extensively and explicitly. For me, I understand clearly his position. It's unfortunate that custodians of the law do not uphold the tenets of the law. Now, like he has stated, losing of seat is not executory. It is the court that will determine that. And while we are waiting for the court, you don't derecognize me. You don't have the power to do that. And that's what is playing in Rivers State. If you are saying I'm not speaker, are you the court? Have the court, as any court of the land, said that I'm not a speaker? Or you see a situation where the governor, who is an executive leader, saying that a legislative leader is not recognized. So I think that for peace to reign, we must uphold the tenets of democracy. The law must be obeyed at all times. Again, the end, the lawyers, the judges, why is it that the hand of the court, the hammer of the court, is yet to hit them? They come out, they give conflicting interpretations of court judgment, court rulings to win the public. And we are misled because we are not lawyers. So in this case now, why is it that the Judicial Council is yet to enforce and to sanction those lawyers that are misleading the public?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Akanto calls from Bori. Hello, Akanto. Good evening.
Good evening. Happy weekend. How are you doing?
I'm well. Please go ahead.
Yes, the guests are hamper on the rule of the lawyer, legal numerary, in truncate king democracy or their involvement in the interpretation of so this the one we are seeing that is just small things. The one that will come will be bigger. You see, every lawyer has their own alignment. The man that was on this morning on unfortunately something that I want to do was there interpreting one side because the politics belongs to a political side. I'm not accusing our guest, presuming his own direction, the way he aligned. He is not giving as an intermediary. He is dancing to one side. Apart from saying at the last part of the speech, and Free was saying APC, cancer, at the end of the day, that is only why I don't want to what you got to give a kind of a cosmetic statement. All lawyers have their own total alignment and will not get it right. It happened in Rivers State when the man was the governor of Rivers State and the whole court was turned to a one-man court. It is in the federal level now. We will not get it right. We will no longer get it right. And again, let me say it. 1999 Constitution has a particular paragraph that deals with this matter is not ambiguous. Section 109G. Even me, as not a lawyer, it is not ambiguous. It's talking about once you defect, should you wait for a lawyer? You wait for a court that will hand tweet to give you another thing. Because we have seen the role of lawyer that a court in Nigeria that hand tweet and call black, white,
all right,
call white, black. We should wait for them.
Okay.
Me,
thank you very much, Akanto.
And they are gone forever.
Well, we have to take other calls. Dr. Oshoma, can you hear the caller?
Yes, I heard him. Unfortunately, I will not blame him because lawyers have caused us this problem. So whatever you say today if it does not align with certain persons, they will tell you that you are also being biased. So I hear that always. For me, politicians will always be politicians. The only language Nigerians should understand is that all of us are the ones in opposition. Wike and Fubara are not quarreling. They are friends. Tomorrow, these people will sit down, shake hands, and say, we deceived them. Look, let me give you an instance. Wike and Amechi gave us the impression that they were quarreling and they had challenges and, but actually, this role, Amechi was state station, which was this station, Amechi was governor. Then this role, actually to become minister for which became governor. We are benefited from their role, not from their assets and their eyes. Don't have anything to benefit from people. So that brings up to benefit who me. This in a dural law, but it's removed. Don't you say that sections of the law are separate? And why do we need to court? It's just okay. So why do we have our law as presumed laws of yourself? And straight what you do to the law. It is the court makes pronouncement. That is why it is messy and bring on and tell you go to court because somebody in an election. Somebody in an and they pay with us.
Okay, very some people are old. Go ahead. Very quickly, please.
It's the that created card readers before the VAT.
Yeah.
Created card readers and said the election in Rivers State was highly contentious. And people were happy that because card readers were bypassed, that the election was going to be nullified. But at the end of the day, what happened? The Supreme Court said this card reader was not a product of our constitution. It was INEC rules and guidelines. And to calculate overvoting, you cannot be using card reader. It has to be an electoral register. Even though that innovation was beautiful, Wike benefited from it and became governor for 8 years. In the same vein, today, just say anywhere you see APC losing election, the card readers that they will support in one place, they will condemn it in another place. That is what lawyers and politicians do. So until Nigerians understand that they are the ones in opposition, and this tendency of supporting the person they think is the weaker sex or the weaker one against the other person that believes is powerful, contrary to the position of the law, will not help anybody.
Okay.
So it is not about you are interpreting the law because you have a leaning to favor who?
Okay, let's
to favor who?
Let's take
politicians that have ridiculed us so badly.
Let's take some calls. I've had a few people on hold. Apologies for that. I think I've lost those calls. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening. My name is Bright. I'm calling from Maya.
Go ahead, Bright.
I want to add with what the lawyer today is saying. Before if anything happens, even when you catch a criminal red-handed, it is only court that will pronounce that the person is a criminal. But concerning the Martins Assembly, which is River State of Assembly, let's believe that it is the speaker that will declare his seat vacant. That is the speaker. Also defected, for example, as they say, that they defected, they are not continue. Now, you guys is the speaker that will declare that seat vacant. And again, since nobody wants to declare that seat vacant, you need the governor or the commissioner of information. It is not on the court. And court has not declared that seat vacant. Governor and the executive are declaring that seat vacant. Nothing around the secretary is not of the house or ritual. So please, they should have this amendment. The governor and the speaker of the house, and whatever that is being said, please, I'm begging Fubara. Thank you. Worship right.
All right, thank you very much. I have Emeka from Woji. Good evening, Emeka.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
According to last caller, we can't tell governor. Governor don't have the power to declare that it is vacant. It's only the court that do that. If governor doing it, he's doing it to his own peril. The fire there, this is the best lawyer so far I've ever seen. That's what I'm telling you. Amaewhule, they're in PDP. They're not in APC. As I'm talking to you now. Because if you're defending, if you're not a registered member in your ward, You are not a 20 member of that particular party. When they defected, then APC don't have what schools. That's what I'm telling you. They don't have what else. They are Fubara because that's because of the remote. Anybody in that is doing very pushing route.
It is for the cops waiting from you. Go ahead.
David,
are you on hold?
Yes, I was with you, they dropped and I thought
No. I don't think it dropped you. It should have worked. I noticed. Apologies for that. Please go.
One of those things for justice. Liborous, for the one you left on. No, I got about this. Was through with it, they come and pull you. Please stand on your stand.
Gifts, please go ahead with
it's not necessary. We don't plan this one. Application and judgment.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
I'm Atisi, calling you. I'm Atisi, calling you from.
Go ahead. Beautiful.
I live in North Nigeria.
We have